So Barcelona lose 5-3 to Villarreal at home. That's one of the saddest and most embarrassing performances I've seen in such a long time. And to bottle the game like that in the last few minutes, that's embarrassing. It's unbelievable. I seriously don't have words to describe how bad that performance was and how embarrassing the team right now currently is. And I saw a stat that was the first time Barcelona conceded 5 goals at home since 1963. That's such an embarrassing performance. And the way that you lose the game in that fashion, it's almost like you seriously want to sell every single player on the team after that, besides Lamine Yamal. And the blame is on everyone. Some of it goes to Xavi, but I feel like most of the blame in that situation, it goes on the players because they were the ones on the field and they were the ones that folded like that. And given the way that Barcelona had played this season, I think it would be undeserved if they go on and win a trophy. They deserve to go trophyless because of the way that they've played and how many times they folded in these type of situations. But this one is different because it's Villarreal. No offense to them. They're 14th in the league. They've not been having a good season, and you have them at home. And somehow you start losing 2-0. Of course, that was such an embarrassing first 60 minutes. I mean, we won't even get into that yet. But then to be winning 3-2 and to lose 5-3 in the end after everything that happened in that game. And of course, it's on the players. It's on Araujo for passing the ball directly to the other player. It's on Cancelo for losing the ball. I mean, what were they doing? And in a time like this, there might seem like there's not that many positives, but I just want to talk about Lamine Yamal because I mean, he's 16 years old, and Barcelona players were looking to him to create something for them. You know how good he has to be to have all these Barcelona players with so much experience. And the ones that should be taking control of this game, they gave all the control to Lamine Yamal. And that's how good he is. But at the same time, it's also really embarrassing that Barcelona have to do that. And Inaki Peña, he has to go in the summer. The defense in front of him folded, but he's just not good enough for Barcelona. And, you know, I think we got fooled by those first couple games that he had some really good saves in. But Ter Stegen, I just can't wait until he's back into the team. And this game just had so many individual mistakes. I mean, Cancelo gifting the ball to them for a one-on-one. Araujo, again, passing the ball around in the back. When you're tied 3-3 in the last couple minutes of the game, what are you even thinking? At the same time, I want to talk about this because I don't think people are going to talk about this, but it was 3-3, and Cancelo had a bunch of space in front of him. He just plays the long ball to Lamine Yamal, just gifts it to the other team, and they go on, they take a counterattack, and they score. I mean, what was the defense thinking? I just have no words to describe what was going on in their mind at that moment. And with all the talent and the experience that this team has, they just look horrible, and they do not deserve to win a trophy this year because they're just not playing up to that standard at all. They're playing like a mid-table team at the moment, which, with all the talent and the names that they have in the team, that's just inexcusable. And I don't know if this is just reactionary, but Barcelona have had some big bottles in the past. I think this is up there with one of the worst I've seen in the last few seasons. Just the fashion that they lost. To go from 3-2 to 5-3, no words, honestly. And to be honest, this game started exactly like most Barcelona games had this season, where they completely waste 60 minutes, and they look pretty horrible. They look unbearable to watch, honestly, and they're 2-0 down, deservedly. And then Xavi brings on Pedri, Cubarsí, and João Cancelo, and those changes help Barcelona, and they look better, and somehow they find a way to make it 3-2. And you're winning 3-2, and your team is so spread out, and your defense is not compact enough that you gift a one-on-one to the other team. You're winning 3-2, and I feel like most of the times if you're winning 3-2, the goal that's going to tie the game for the other team is going to be a header. It's going to be something a little bit scrappy. They gifted that goal to Barcelona. They literally gifted it to them. And then it's 3-3. Okay, you have a lot of time left. And people are going to talk about that penalty. I think that was not a penalty. I think maybe the other one that Gundogan had flicked it over the defender, and it looked like he hit his hand, but VAR didn't look at it. I'm sure we'll see some more stuff about that. I just got a little glimpse of it, and it looked like it was a penalty. But the first one, when he basically had his arm to his side, that's not a penalty. There's nowhere else that his arm can go, so it would have been really harsh to give that to him. But 3-3, João Cancelo is dribbling up the field, and he just hoofs the ball over to them. You have 8 minutes left of extra time, or at least a couple minutes. I don't know the exact minutes, but you have a lot of time to go and get a winner. No, gift the ball to them, and then they score on a counterattack. And this defense is honestly just horrible. I don't know what happened between this year and last year. It was one of the best defenses in Europe, and now 5 to Villarreal with almost the same exact team. It's embarrassing. And for Araujo, yeah, let's play some tiki-taka with the other team. Let's gift them the ball 6 yards away from goal. There was no words to describe what I was feeling at that moment. I just could not believe what I was watching. And to be honest, you just got to feel bad for the youngsters like Lamine Yamal, Hector Fort, Pau Cubarsí that are all trying their hardest and doing well with the chances that they've been given. But the players with so much experience, they're the ones that are folding. They're the ones that are losing the games for Barcelona. And Xavi, I was so confused why Lewandowski was playing 75 minutes. Vitor Roque came on, and I think he played great. I think he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He almost scored his goal. That would have been a great finish. But the thing is, Lewandowski doesn't even get in that position in the first place because he's so static. He doesn't make runs. He doesn't move. And that's what Barcelona was missing for 75 minutes. And once you bring Vitor Roque on, he came in and he made an impact for Barcelona. But, of course, his other teammates, they completely folded. And I would say there's about a 1% chance that Barcelona can go on and win the Champions League, because with the way that they've been playing, it has to be a completely different team. If you go into the Champions League playing like this, you're gone. I mean, you might get like 7 goals scored against you because, I mean, what else do you expect? That's embarrassing. The 14th place team in La Liga. No offense to Villarreal because they deserve to win that game. 5 goals conceded at home. I mean, how do you explain that? And for Barcelona, because of the way that they've been playing this season, there needs to be an entire revamp. I mean, I think Xavi has to go in the summer. I don't think that game was completely his fault, but it seems like the players have lost his trust because, I mean, they're all playing terrible on the field. And when everyone's playing bad, you've got to make a change. So, and the players that I would say are 100% secure are Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Araujo, Hector Ford, Pau Cubarsí, players from La Masia. That's about it, honestly. I could see everyone else looking to be sold in the summer because this is just inexcusable. Barcelona cannot be playing like this. And I'm sure I've said embarrassing a lot of times, but that's the exact word to describe that performance. And that fold in the last couple minutes, I mean, it's inexcusable for a team like Barcelona. And with all the experience and all the talent on the field, I mean, how can you look at that result and understand it and try and explain it? You can't. No offense, this is a Villarreal team that has not been very good in La Liga this season. And you have them coming to your stadium and you let them score 5 goals on you. Embarrassing. And the difference is that was a team that looked like they had a game plan. But Barcelona, they never do. This entire season, I can't even tell you what the identity is. And when you look back at the beginning of this season and you thought all the good signings that they made and the team that they had last year, I just don't know how you get to this place this year. It seems like every player on Barcelona has maybe lost trust in Xavi, and they've lost trust in their own abilities because they're all playing terrible. And you can have an off day, of course. You're not going to give your best performance every single week. Even the best teams in the world have off games, but that, to lose 5-3 in that fashion, inexcusable. And questions should be asked about every single player on Barcelona besides Lamine Yamal, and also, of course, on Xavi. I think he has to go in the summer at this point. And tomorrow I'm going to try and make a video about where do Barcelona go from here, but, I mean, they have a long way to go to get back to the top because most big teams in the world, they are not losing a game at home 5-3. Again, you just look at the scoreline, not a big deal, but when you break it down every single time and how many individual mistakes that Barcelona had, you can't imagine that actually happened. You can't believe it. Like, we're almost in denial. But the reality is that did happen, and that's going to continue to happen for Barcelona because they're just not playing up to their standard, and they need so many changes to be made in the summer. Who's the coach going to be? What's the squad going to look like? But I feel like those things are going to be very different when we start next season. And it's not just a loss in La Liga. If Barcelona would have lost the game 1-0, not a big deal. It's not something that we're really surprised seeing this season. But again, it's the fashion that Barcelona lost in. 5-3. They folded. I mean, they completely bottled that game. There's no other way to put it. And I seriously just don't believe how you can go from winning 3-2 to losing 5-3 at your own stadium in that fashion. It makes no sense. And I'm sorry if I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I am. Because I'm just at a loss of words to describe that performance and to describe the folding that we witnessed right in front of our eyes. And a performance and a result like that, it's so much worse than just a regular loss. And Barcelona just have themselves to blame, again, for that performance and for that result. And Barcelona, of course, have had some difficult times in the last couple of years, but I would describe this as pretty close to rock bottom. And there are, of course, so many negatives around this performance, but, we can think about the positives. We can think that Lamine Yamal is luckily still at Barcelona. And I hope that he has a competitive team next year because, yeah, a 16-year-old I'm hoping has a good team around him. I mean, do we realize how crazy that is? But anyways, thank you guys for watching. And I don't even play on Barcelona, but I just want to apologize for that performance. It was truly embarrassing. My friend had some money on this game. I'm sorry. Like, I genuinely apologize that Barcelona are that bad and embarrassing. I mean, that's all we can do right now. And Barcelona are just so far away from their level. With the team that they have, with all the talent they have at their disposal, this is such an embarrassing performance yet again. It's pathetic, it's sad, and I mean, yeah, you just can't believe that really just happened. Barcelona lost 5-3 in their own stadium while they were winning 3-2 at one point in the game. And I hope for Barcelona's case, they see this as a wake-up call because, of course, there are so many changes that Barcelona need to make, and they need to happen very soon. But, of course, even when there's a lot of negative around the club, even in the bad times, I really do appreciate you guys watching the videos, and we'll be back. I'm not too worried about it, but, of course, this is just such an embarrassing performance. Thank you again for watching my video, and Visca Barca, even in the bad times, we still got to be together with the club, so, yeah, we'll be back.